I'm Myrabels, and here are some tips and tricks that I want to share with you after playing Paleo Pines for almost 100 hours to make your gameplay more efficient. These will all be general tips about the game, and any dino-specific tips and guides are in a separate video linked down below. However, I have a bonus tip for dinos at the end of this video since I wasn't able to include it before, so make sure to stay until the end for that. Let's start with the basics. You can change the speed of your game by going into your settings. Under gameplay, you can change the day length to relaxed, standard, or rush. There are also a few keyboard shortcuts you can use to play more efficiently. If you are playing on console, make sure to look in the help menu so you can find the console-specific controls. For those playing in PC, you can easily take out some items from your inventory by using keyboard numbers. Pressing 1 brings out your journal, 2 your flute, 3 for hoe, 4 for shovel, and 5 for watering can. You can also easily split the stack of an item by using Ctrl plus left click. You can also use Ctrl plus scroll wheel to transfer items one at a time. The journal is also very useful. Here you can see the time, season, weather, and the events for that month. It will tell you if a dino needs attention, if crops are ready to harvest, or needs watering or weeding, if an order arrived, or if it's someone's budding day. There's also a summary of the number of dinos you currently have in your ranch, categorized as helpers, friends, and residents. In the Community tab, you can find a summary of the NPCs you meet. Here, you can see your relationship with them, their budding day, and dino, but most importantly, their location. The bolded one is where the NPC is currently at, which is very useful, so you don't have to go back and forth. You will see some question marks here at the start, which means you haven't seen that NPC in that particular location yet. But once you discover that location, it will be automatically filled out. Do note that some NPCs you can interact with in-game, like the vendors in the desert, will not be included here. I guess they didn't include those without any storyline quests, which is unfortunate because it would have been useful to see the vendor's location or schedule here. Next tab is for recipes. All the recipes you learned will be here. You will see the ingredients needed and its special effect. For example, Classic Stew gives me increased crop harvest. The Artifact tab is for the random structures or artifacts that you will see around the map. For the crops, it is divided per season. You will be able to see a crop's preferred season, its perfect soil and depletion soil, how many days it takes for the crop to mature, how many times you can harvest it, and how to take care of it. More information about crops and plants are in the later portion of this video. The Dino tab shows all the dinos you've logged in your journal. Here you can see their skills, diet, favorite treat, social preference, and minimum area. These are discussed in depth in my other tips and tricks video. Do take note that if you just study the dino while sleeping and not properly befriend it, you will not be able to see their favorite treat and minimum area required yet. I frequently use this pen tab to keep tabs on my dinos. You will see all the pens you have in your ranch and the status of the dinos there. You will be able to easily tell why a certain dino isn't happy just by looking at this. For example, my Anki and Psittacosaurus are unhappy because they don't have food. If you click here, you can also see the pen characteristics like its size, biome, and type. The last two tabs are for quests and your calendar. Next, I have a couple of tips for early game. Use your dino stamina up every day by using their abilities. You want your dinos to level up as quickly as possible so that they can help you out with their skills. Take Lucky for example. I suggest using Lucky stamina to clean up the debris in your farm. You will eventually need space for farming and other dino pens, so doing this early will be a big help. If you have spare money, you can buy juicy poppins and feed it to Lucky to replenish his stamina. You can also move this pond originally seen by the entrance to wherever you want it in your ranch. This pond is used to refill your watering can, so you'd want it near your farm area. You can also move this storage chest, but I recommend keeping it there by the entrance so it's easy to access. Once you start clearing more areas in your ranch, you will be able to see some items scattered. There's some troughs, some saddles, and some decorative items you'll be able to pick up and use. The decorative items can be used to transform a pen's biome, so you don't need to use materials or shells. For example, I got these lamps and chair from the ranch, which transforms a pen's biome into valley type. I also recommend saving money for dino food, trough, fence, and fence gates. These are all essential if you want to keep your dinos happy in your ranch. For more information on how to keep your dinos happy, check out my general guide for dinos in the link down below. But going back to the topic, you will not be able to craft in this game, so all of these items will cost you money. You can pick up some herbivore food around Region Valley, but I don't think it will be enough to sustain your dinos once you have at least 3. So make sure you have enough money for food. To get money early in-game, I recommend doing bulletin board quests. Choose the quests that are easy to complete and avoid quests that ask you for items that you don't know where to get yet. My favorite quest would be studying a sleeping dino, which is easy enough to do and usually gives you a decent amount of money as a reward. Other easy to complete quests would be finding lost items and doing item deliveries. The lost items would always be on the same spots. For example, here at Pebble Plaza, the lost items are usually here, here, or here. So I just look around those spots if the item is around the plaza. Be careful about item deliveries, since some NPCs are not present every day, like Orani, who is only at the plaza on Saturdays and I think Tuesdays. Once you have accepted a quest from the board, that spot will not replenish until you have completed the quest. So, it's not good to accept a quest that requires an apple during your first month, since apples won't bear fruit until the last season in-game, and that quest will just be stuck, and you won't get any new ones for that slot. If you have accidentally accepted such a quest already, like I did before, make sure to keep an eye on Corland's shop and just buy the needed item from there so you can clear your queue. Once a quest is complete, a new quest will automatically replace its slot on the board and the game will keep on replacing it no matter how many times you complete a quest. Giving materials like stone, wood, and fiber are also easy to complete, but keep in mind that you would need these materials for storyline or character quests and for unlocking the desert, so I typically hoard those materials unless I really need money. If you ended up using your supplies on quests, don't worry since there are some areas in the map where these items replenish. Of course, there's a ton of it you can get from your farm, but these ones do not replenish except for the debris. So if you need extra, you can go to this area in Region Valley for stones, this part of Dapplewood for normal wood logs, and these parts for forest wood logs. Sandstones and bushes can be replenished in the desert on this area. Another way to earn money is by selling your crops and other items. Each NPC buys a different set of items. Corland won't buy your clovers, for example. You can sell these at Pippin's instead. For your crops, sell the ones with high quality to get more money. During change in season, the star quality of your crops will decrease anyway, so I recommend selling all of it or turning it into food. The star quality of food items do not decrease through time. The star rating of crops depends on 3 factors. Make sure to do this to get the highest rating possible. Grow them in the correct season, plant them in the preferred soil, and fertilize them with the preferred fertilizer. You can check the crop's preferences using your journal. The soil type is affected by the crop that grew in it. A soil always starts out as normal soil. Once you harvested a crop on it, the soil will change into that crop's depletion soil. Each crop has its perfect soil where it thrives the best. The key in farming is to rotate crops based on their perfect and depletion soil type. For example, during Triaceae season, you can rotate carrots and spring onions. Carrot's perfect soil is sticky, while its depletion soil is soft. On the other hand, spring onion's perfect soil is soft, so plant it after carrots. It will then leave a sticky soil after, which is perfect for carrots. Unfortunately, to get the perfect 3-star quality, the crops still need fertilizers even if you plant them in the correct season and preferred soil. You can put this fertilizer in the soil before planting seeds or just after planting. You cannot put it in growing plants anymore. The crop rotation won't matter much once you gather enough fertilizers, since the fertilizer also changes the soil type into your preferred one. You can get fertilizers from dino poop or from composters found around your ranch. While we are in the topic of plants, there's also tree and bushes. For trees, you just need to plant them in soil. While for bushes, you need to put any kind of fertilizer in it once per year for it to grow. Both will take quite a while to grow, but they will continuously produce fruits during its season. You can move a tree by using shovel on it. However, it will revert back into a sapling, which takes around 2 seasons to grow. However, if you use a shovel on a bush, it will just destroy it and you cannot replant it anymore. Lastly, let's look at some special items each NPC sells or gives. Pippin sells poppins, which you will need to befriend dinos. At first, they will only sell crunchy poppins. On your second day, after finishing the quest from Mary about taming a Gallimimus, you can attempt to tame a Styracosaurus by giving it a crunchy poppin. This dino doesn't like that flavor, so you will fail. However, this will unlock the juicy poppin from Pippin. Keep in mind that you need to give them any juicy food so they can make juicy poppins. You can attempt to buy a carrot from Corland if he sells it that day for this. After getting the juicy poppin, you need to tame your Styracosaurus and unlock the path to Dapplewood by removing the boulders. Enter Dapplewood once and return to Pippin to get another flavor of poppin. You can choose from earthy, fragrant, and spicy. Another flavor should be unlocked 3 to 5 days after getting your third flavor, and another few days to get the last flavor. So make sure to check on Pippin every day. Marlo sells fence gates and troughs, but he can also craft decorative items for you. Moreover, he can help you downgrade a dreamstone. For example, if you've made all your dreamstones into a valley sleeping patch and you need a forest one, bring the dreamstone to Marlo to get it downgraded into a normal dreamstone again, so you can change it into a forest sleeping patch after. Next, in the desert, you will meet Freya, who sells paths and other decorative items. She can also change the size of your dreamstones. For example, if you need more large dreamstones, just bring your small dreamstones, some shells, and some sandstones to her so she can make it into a large dreamstone, and vice versa. Take note that this dreamstone should be the non-upgraded one. So if you have upgraded the dreamstone to a valley patch, then you have to go to Marlo to downgrade it first before going to Freya to change its size. Orani sells clothing items, and after you buy at least 2 clothes from her, she will increase your inventory space for free. Try to order clothes as early as possible since your inventory will get filled pretty quickly. Make sure to also do quests with Avery since he will eventually give you a seed pot, watering basket, and a produce basket that your small dinos can use for your ranch. You can find more info about this on the other video. I am currently at around 600 subscribers right now, and I would love to reach 1,000 subscribers. I make content about cozy farming and simulation games, so if you like those games, please consider subscribing. It will help the channel a lot. As promised, here is a bonus tip and a trivia about dinos. Each dino has a different speed. Scott made this very helpful dinosaur movement speed chart. The part with sprint speed is especially helpful for me since I can easily see which sprinter will be the fastest steed. Of course, you are free to use your favorite dino as steed, but I personally would go for an Oranosaurus or Dinochirus, which have the fastest speeds since I like zooming around the maps. Also, I noticed that my Corythosaurus clears debris faster than Lucky, so other dino movements might also be different for each species. If you made it here to the end, I would like to share a fun trivia with you. Each dino has a personality. They can either be lazy, devoted, social, or curious. There is currently no way to tell which is which other than by observing your dinos. For example, I noticed that my Psittacosaurus doesn't like working early in the morning, so I assume it's a lazy one. And this Troodon always seem to venture out of their pen, so I'm gonna say that it's a curious one. Have you noticed any personality on your dinos? Let me know in the comments. If you want more Paleo Pines content, check out my Only Rare Challenge gameplay here. Thank you so much for watching!